You are watching Revelations. We are the biggest spiritual platform. We talk everything African, we talk everything spiritual, and we talk everything Ghanaian. Once again, I welcome you to the biggest show. And my name is Maame Grace. Today is a special episode. Today we have one of the biggest on our set. So we want to know about him. Today is Ghanaian. Ghana Day, Ghana episode. Call it whatever you want to call it. But I tell you, it's one of the biggest conversations we are going to have here today. Once again, I welcome you. Papa, welcome to Revelations platform.
Thank you, Maame Grace.
Okay. Please, kindly introduce yourself to our beautiful viewers.
Okay. Our beautiful viewers, I'm Togbe Xenodzi, Dogbey, Evelia, Dufia of Wagbato Kliko from the Volta region. I greet all of you, and today we bring you probably something you never heard before.
When I'm person go body, you when coming to me more. It's me smart. Now me say, or introducing this what was at least me take click. I know they easy to mention. Inti onona odi hene editing team my out ya kunwa so ohwe ne manfo so e wo hono mu se nipa kese ene ye ne ti set we so ene ne e ba betwetwe nkomo na ansa na no mepese ye behu onipa ko a oye mate ne papa ho asem da enti ye de ni nyina begu enkomo ni mu. So Togbe, how did you become a king?
Well, thanks for the question. Actually, it all started about 100 years ago.
100?
Yes. 100 years ago when the great descendants of Yuya Tehuti, our great ancestor.
Please, can you mention the name again?
Yuya Tehuti. This was our great ancestor whose descendant, Togbe Xenodzi, took over the priesthood as priest king at Kliko in 1864. In fact, he was a real hero. And eventually, it was at the time when we had the Spanish flu. That's just after the First World War in 1918. That was when the British came to Kliko, that they wanted to vaccinate the people there. But at that time, he himself had prepared medicine or drug that he was using to cure or heal his people.
From the fluid?
No, for the flu at the time.
Okay.
So when the whites came, when the British came, the people were unwilling to be vaccinated at that time. And one of them happened to assault the British vaccinator. And so they tried coming after him. And because they didn't find him, they decided to arrest the priest king, who was Togbe Xenodzi, my predecessor. So when he was arrested, he was sent to Adafo for interrogation. And then there they found out that he had the know-how of preparing vaccines using eggs.
That is our own priest, the Togbe, a Ghanaian.
Exactly.
The British
found out
that
he knew how to do vaccines using coconut, but there was a way he did it through eggs to, get it effective. So, in fact, he taught them how it has to be done. And nobody knew what happened. He died at their hands. Yes, he died
Was
at their
he
hands.
sick before he went into their hands?
No.
Can we say he was eliminated?
Yeah, that's what we
assume.
Exactly, because after he had taught them all these things, they tried to,
take him out.
Exactly. And for 100 years, the throne has been there, and it has been vacant.
It has been vacant.
For 100
years. Is it because there was no human being?
Not that. But the stool actually is ancient. It's ancient. It's almost about 3,500 years, thereabout, with its relics. It has some relics. Our people traveled all the way from Israel to this place. So if you have a look at this book has the complete generations of all our ancestry. Okay, our ancestors, how they traveled, all of them, and their stories until they got here. And then they had relics that followed them. There's two relics that followed them until they reached this place. So he was in charge at the time. So after he passed away, a lot of things had to go on. They have to consult the spirits to find out who has to be king and all that. And unfortunately, the stool was vacant throughout. So in 1983, that was when my father had a vision. At that time, my mom was pregnant. She had conceived me.
You?
Yes.
Okay.
And then my father had a vision that he was given the name that the unborn child should be given.
That was you?
Yes. So eventually, I was born, and then on the 8th day, they prepared for the naming ceremony and the circumcision, for the name to be given and all that. And at that time, they used to do some few, they killed a duck for the celebration. But the mysterious happened. Yes, immediately my father had slaughtered the duck. All they realized when he threw it on the ground, and once he threw it on the ground, immediately the duck touched the ground. They saw that he started ascending.
The dead
duck started ascending. And they didn't understand. So it just went up until they realized that the duck had entered into the clouds.
Huh?
Disappeared into the clouds.
Okay. Is it a normal rituals they perform for every child?
Yes, the normal.
So when they perform the normal, what was supposed to happen?
Well, actually,
Okay.
if he throws the duck, if he turns the tummy up, then it means that it's okay.
Okay.
So it made the duck turned up that way. Then he started ascending. Just
Your
that way.
own duck
Yes.
started ascending.
Ascending up.
After turning.
Yes. And then he started ascending up until they realized it's
Vanished.
into the clouds.
Into the clouds.
Into the clouds until today.
Are you sure maybe their faces was not turning or something and somebody stole it?
Well, it's something that all those who were present had always been saying, and since I started growing up, they've been telling me this is what happened during your...
So you were mysterious even before you were born? Because at 8 days child, and your rituals have started ascending to the clouds, then it means either you are a witch, a wizard or something. Anyway, So?
well, actually, the person who came to talk to my father that he should give me the name that he gave him said that when I grow, there is a message that I will receive and tell the whole world.
Okay.
So when that happened, my father, he went back to the village, went to my grandfather to tell him what had transpired. And you know our old people, there are a lot of ways they try to find out about things they don't understand. So they try to consult an oracle, and then
About
what had happened. They wanted to understand. If they don't understand what had happened. So there they were told that the child will revive the throne.
Oh, okay.
And then he will hear what people don't know and let them know in the future.
Oh, okay.
So from that time, still, the stool was vacant until finally it came to pass that after 100 years since my predecessor passed away, they had to try every possible means to install a chief on the throne. So initially I was not part of those chosen because I'm young. We're looking at the older people and all that. And but unfortunately, the oracle didn't choose any of the elder ones, and then it happened to be me.
Oh, okay.
Which means that everything they were told many years ago, even at birth, the time had come for that manifestation.
Okay.
So that's how come.
So how old were you when you were put on the stool? When you were made a king?
36.
36. Oh, okay. So I'm interested in this part. Your ancestor, the one who know how to do the vaccination and died in the hands of these people. Do you have any documentation? Do you have anything to show? As me, I'm interested in those who invent things for Ghana. So when you say something about a great man like that and he died like that, what have you done about it when you became a king?
Yeah, thanks for this question. Immediately I was installed, that was when the coronavirus broke out. I was installed on 5th of January 2020. So immediately it was important to go back to,
because they have some fluid connection.
Yes.
And vaccine connection.
Yes, it's a virus. That one is influenza virus. But I had to go back to look at what my predecessor had started, because it was a world pandemic at that time, and he was trying to save his people.
And he died out of it.
Yes.
And you came, and this thing also
has come again.
Then your life is in danger.
So immediately I with that knowledge and my understanding of medicine, I quickly sent information out that no, something can be done about this. Just as my predecessor started, I can work it out for the nation. So immediately I prepared samples and then presented to Mampon, the Plant Medicine Research Center, where they started their microbiology and toxicology and all that. They started looking into the medicine. And then eventually With them and the FDA, actually, together took about 20 months. 20 months before they finished all the
investigation.
Yes, examinations, evaluation, and all that. And then FDA registered a drug that was on the 9th of December 2021, last year. And well, it's actually they registered it for general well-being. So in that case, it goes for every individual to fight all viruses.
Okay, but let me go back a bit.
Yes.
Were you working on your grandfather or the one that died, the thing he was working on before he died? Before you became a king, were you working on it, or you started going into it when you realized the virus has come?
He left a lot of things. So I started going into them. First, we have a history of coming right from, of being descendants of ancient Jewish people. And we had ancestry and all that. So I was so much interested in understanding all these things. And apart from that, there are certain things he left. Like, for instance, the rod of Aaron. Okay? Regarding the Ark of the Covenant and all that. There is a mystery about that. And then some other things. And those things gradually moved into his hands from our ancestor.
Hey.
Yes, it got into the hands of Tehuti. Let me show you. This was our ancestor. This is our ancestor, Tehuti.
Okay.
Yeah, but in Jerusalem, his name. Okay, he was born. Our ancestor. You know, Jehoahaz. Jehoahaz is. He comes from Josiah. You know, if you know Josiah from the scriptures. So Jehoahaz, he was on the throne for just 3 months. And then Pharaoh Necho just invaded and took him to Egypt. But there his pregnant wife gave birth to Uriah Tehuti. So Uriah Tehuti, when his mom sent him back to Jerusalem, his name was changed to Daniel.
Daniel?
Yes.
The Daniel in the Bible?
In the Bible. His name was changed to Daniel. And then afterwards, when he went to, when they were taken captive to Babylon, his name was changed there again to Belshazzar.
Belshazzar.
Belshazzar, yes.
So this is the head of Daniel,
yes.
Belshazzar,
yes.
and Seuti.
Yes, this is Daniel.
So these people were Ghanaians?
If we talk about Ghanaians, we came to Ghana. You know, our people migrated all the way to this place.
So if you have migrated here, so
yes.
now when we are talking history, we can say they are Ghanaians.
Ghanaians, okay.
Voltarians, to be precise.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So what were you doing before you became a king?
Well, actually, I was a businessman, and then I was also into. I normally don't want to say this, but I'm into divine mission. Yes.
So
and
you
it started
were a researcher?
in 2002.
2002.
Yes, I was caught up to the heavens.
You were, say again. It's important to me.
I was caught up to the highest heavens. We call it Avaro. Aravu. Yes.
So
Aravu.
explain a bit. We those who don't understand, break it down. When you say you were caught into heavens and Aravu, whatever, break it down to the normal person's understanding. We need to understand this.
Okay. In August of 2002, just about descending the stairs at our home.
In the Volta region?
No, in Ashaiman.
In Ashaiman here?
Yes.
Okay.
we are from Volta, but my dad built in the Volta region. So at that time, I was at his place.
Okay.
So when I was about descending the stairs, then I just felt that I was off. And at that time, I saw I saw a man with a very shining eyes, like fire. It was shining but brightening. It was in a white garment. Then he held my hand, and then we started walking. But when we were walking, I realized when we were walking, the whole place was starred with a golden color shining. So we moved on till I realized we got to the Temple Mount. All of a sudden, I realized we are at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, in Israel. Then we got into, you see where the Dome of the Rock is. We got to that place, and I realized that he walked with me until we stood on a certain rock there, which they call the rock. There's a rock there, a very big rock there. So we stood there, and I just realized that we ascended, and then we were totally at a different place. We went up, and he was showing me the heavens until we got to a place that is called Muchavin.
Say again. Say again. Say again. The name again.
We passed Muzalot, and we got to Achevin. From Achevin, then we got into where we call Aravo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so how many days was this happening? Were you in a coma, or it was just a day?
To my people, I was dead.
You were dead?
Yes.
For how many
to
days?
My people,
they didn't bury you?
Because according to them, I was not breathing. To them, they felt that I was dead.
So for how long? How many days?
When I came back, I think they said it was almost 3 hours or 3
so
4
a day,
hours.
a day,
yes.
Okay.
So there I realized everyone was crying and a whole lot of, this thing. So I narrated to them all that transpired and all that. Then from there, I started receiving visitations. And then a lot of things started. There is a place where we study. There are 366 books.
If you say we study, you and who?
The angels.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was taken through a lot of things to understand the world.
Okay.
So there I came to know why I came to understand the timeline of the world, how things will happen, and then concerning the future.
Concerning the future.
So I started talking about it, and mostly they come to pass.
They come to pass.
Yes, they come to pass. And then I eventually I was given missions. I had missions to Brazil, to the United States, to many countries.
So all these visions, do you go like physically, or it's a spiritual affair?
It's a spiritual affair.
It's a spiritual affair. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm interested in your grandfather or your... So this medicine here,
Yes.
can we say it's a spiritual something, or is something you made by yourself, or it's what your grandfather left? It's what you have upgraded to bring it out like this. Does this medicine have anything spiritual or anything divine behind it?
Well, this medicine, I upgraded it using nanotechnology to ensure that it has all the antiviral and antibacterial properties. Okay, so I decided to also help my nation as my predecessor started. If he had the support then, I think he would have helped saved a lot of people at the time, as he was saving the Clico people before the British caused that to happen. So, with the knowledge from his side and my understanding of medicine, I was able to come out with this one as an antiviral agent, an immune booster, and also an antibacterial
I understand
agent.
this. I just want to know if it's the same thing that he was doing is what you've brought into completion, or it's something different.
What he was doing was actually for the influenza virus. Okay, it's an antiviral agent that he was working on. So I upgraded it to make it more potent, because now there is technology. You understand? Then they didn't have much technology, but looking at what he has put down, I realized that if I'm able to upgrade it, then it can solve a lot of problems. That's how come I was able to come out with this. To the extent that this is able to cleanse the clogged arteries, to cleanse the blood, and also remove mucus.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a very difficult question.
Okay.
I sometimes feel I can turn into a man, but I'm still not going to let certain things go. Because sometimes I wish I can do something for Kwame Nkrumah. People who were there for this country. So now that you are telling me your grandfather prepared, was close preparing even a vaccine, and was eliminated. You came to ascend the throne. You've been able to put the drug together, a drug that he was trying to put together. The good side, you have put it together. And you knew he was eliminated. Have you seek for justice for him? What have you done about his death?
Well, at the moment, you see, if you want this drug, you realize that the name of the drug, the brand name of the drug is Xenodzi, which is his name. So, the first thing was to try to at least maintain, since he started it, there was the need to give him that respect, to give him that that power, okay? That power over the medicine. From the time of the creation, or from the time of Adam to the end of this cycle, which will take 8,000 years. The 4 periods, the first one is 5,500 years. And this one was a promise that was given to Adam after he left the garden. He was afraid of what will happen to him. And God told him that in 5.5 days, he will come and save him. So Adam didn't understand the 5.5 days. And God told him the 5.5 days is 5,500 years. Now, so from the beginning up to the year AD 24, which elapsed the 5,000 years, that was when he came and then took all the dead people that were suffering in the underworld back to the garden. And this is the person they call Jesus Christ today.
Who?
The one who promised that in 5.5 days he will come and save Adam and his descendants. Because since that beginning, all people who died were imprisoned in the underworld.
I understand. So the person who received the prophecy as Adam came back as Jesus. Is that what you are saying?
No, the one giving the prophecy to Adam. After Adam sinned and he was sacked from the garden, he pleaded.
So that was Jesus.
Yes.
So, okay. So, your grandfather was also a descendant of Adam. So, who is he from here? Because from Adam and Jesus, is he also in this line? Can you say he's also in this line?
The line is coming from Josiah. You know Josiah?
In the Bible?
In the Bible. You know, we have Jehoahaz. Jehoahaz's son is Tehuti.
So is he also in the Bible?
And then Xenodzi is coming, is a descendant of Tehuti.
Are they also in the Bible?
Yes, Tehuti is in the Bible, which is Daniel.
Okay. So all these things that you are telling me, the thing on the paper, you can put it down for now.
Okay.
How did you get this?
Yeah, as I told you, I've had a lot of spiritual lessons, and then there are physical evidences of them. So with this one, it has been divided into 4 periods. The 5,500 years, which is the covenant, which represents the length of the Ark of the Covenant. If you read Exodus chapter 25, verse 10, Moses was being told that he should make the length of the Ark of the Covenant 2.5 cubits, the height half cubits. The cubits of the Ark of the Covenant measurement ended just right at the time that Jesus was killed. And then he had to go there to the underworld and relieve Adam and all those who had died and ascend them to
I understand this perfectly.
So after that time, there is another 2,000 years which is ending just the next 2 years. Now when that ends, something will happen. It has started already, but when it ends, a certain period will happen. It's for 100 years. And within this period, around 2060, some 15 people will be born in in each of the West African countries. Each of the 15 West African countries.
Which your grandfather will be part of them, because you said something earlier.
Yes.
I understand this perfectly. What I wanted to understand. Okay, all right. Can you assure me that something will happen for me to hold my peace for those who did us this great harm by eliminating this man?
Yes, that's why I said the reason why I've been patient is that I was made to understand what will happen in the coming years. After the end of the years of mercy, there is a certain 100 years period during which these 15 people will be born. And when they are born, they are the ones who will turn the 15 nations, they are the ones who will turn West Africa around. And then at the end of the 100 years, the West Africa will become a superpower because of the activities of those 15 people that will be heading the West African nations.
What I want to hear, you've told me that I should rest assured that I will see justice for those who cause us this great harm. But you saying that 15, 16 people are going to be born to turn Africa around, for Africa to become superpowers. That's your topic. That's what you are going to talk about.
Exactly.
So we are not going to mix it.
Okay, all right.
With this thing. But before then, are you saying we should sit down and like this till that time? Because you are saying those who did all this great harm, they are dead and gone. And till this time that these people will come, those people are not going to come back to life. So if they would deal with them, they are going to deal with their generation, right? So that's why I'm asking that we are the generation of your grandfather, the one who is supposed to do this vaccine, that nobody will come and force me to take any vaccine. That's what he was trying to prevent. So I'm asking you, for now till then, we can't do anything. We can't even write them letters for them to know that you did this, did that.
Yes.
Have you done those letters?
You see, all those things can be done. But one other thing is, when he died shortly that way, his kingdom, people took over, people shared his kingdom among themselves.
This is what I'm saying. So painful. And you have ascended the throne and you have divine powers. And you are just sitting down looking at it. Are you retrieving the kingdoms that were shared?
No, right now some work have started. You see, the first step, the stool had been vacant. And you know, formerly we didn't have, like, we have a paramount chief, we have a divisional chief. The priest was, the high priest was at the same time like the paramount chief, so it's like a priest king. You understand? So when that thing happened, many other people tried, because it's a 100 years period, they tried to take over his territories, his lands. Okay? Excuse me to say, our brothers, our sisters and brothers at Kliko, you know, we have Agbozoma and we have Kliko. The Agbozoma, they were at Kita, they were at Keta. Before one white man was killed, one of the Danish white men called Mr. Tessin. He first there was a misunderstanding between the Anglos and the Kitas. You see, because initially the Danish wanted them to fight, so they gave them guns to fight, but they used powders. But along the line, some of them started using the original bullets, and that led to a whole lot of
some of our own.
Yes, you see. So
but it is them that came to instigate this thing.
Exactly.
You see why you leave them like that, and I'm this thing.
So as a result, the Agujao or they are now somehow, they had to run away from that place, and they came to our place. We gave them a place. Okay? So they are now the people we call the Agbozoma people with us. We gave them a place at Kliko, and then they came to stay with us. Now, when my predecessor passed,
be mentioning his name for
when
me.
Togbe Xenodzi,
be mentioning his name.
When Togbe Xenodzi passed away at the hands of the British, then those who came, the Kitas who came, they came to take over a lot of his territories. And that had been a problem up till today, for these past 100 years. So for his soul to be happy, the first thing that's have been done to at least make him happy is to occupy his vacant stool that was left. And with that one, that first step, at least something is done. And then the next step is to educate the people, all those who had grabbled and taken his territories. You know, their grandfathers know, those alive now, their fathers and their grandfathers, they know the story. But the young ones today, most of them don't know the story. Some of them even think they originated from that place. But eventually we are trying to educate. If you look into this book, I wrote this book in 2019. And this is the book that spoke a lot of things about things that were going to happen in the future. And many of them have manifested, and the very far ones are also on the way to manifest. Even in this book is where you see in 2019 or in 2020 how everything was going to happen in the Ghana elections, and then it was in this book. People who read it, they saw that the manifestation was just like that. In America, in Brazil also, and then in Israel, they saw that everything written was just exactly what had happened.
Okay. Yes.
So the history also about how the Kitas came, and then we gave them a place at Klikor, how they occupy our lands and all that. The history is here, and for people to read and know. And then apart from that also, the future of Ghana and West Africa.
All right, you are watching Revelations, and I am here with Togbe. The name is too big for me to handle. You know how I'm passionate about national assets like Kwame Nkrumah. Now I have heard another one. He's not doing anything, and I'm getting but that's it. So Togbe, you work with great people. I saw 4 people following you. They are holding this. In 3 minutes, give us meanings of how you address, why this man is sitting by you with this thing, and those who follow you.
Well, actually, you know our tradition in Ghana. As a chief, you need to have and all that.
So he's Ochiami who?
Yes. So he's Todia.
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 And then what's the meaning of the
yeah. This one is what leads the chiefs.
Oh, tell us. Tell us about it.
Okay.
You don't have to talk when he's talking.
No. Okay, I've given him the. Okay.
So notice a staff which, when the chief is going somewhere, you need to be in front of him as a symbol of the stool.
Of the symbol of the stool.
Yeah.
The symbol of the ancestors.
And the name of the
ancestors.
Yeah.
The one that they did this.
Yeah.
You see, there is a bed on top of it. That bed, you see the name Xenodzi means the bed in the heavens.
Okay. We will talk about this in your topic, since you are coming to talk about African super powers.
Yes.
Togbe, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. So you will tell us about African powers. This is his profile. My name is Maame Grace. I am Revelations, and today I am here with a king. Thank you so much for watching. Same time, Togbe will come your way with another episode. God bless us all.
This program is fully sponsored by Global Eagle Revival Outreach Ministries, a not-for-profit organization. To support our broadcast to reach others like you, kindly send support to Zenith Bank, Ghana, account number 6012402066, account name Global Eagle Revival Outreach Ministries, La Trade Fair Branch, Burma Camp, mobile money account, merchant 0544859007, name Global Eagle Revival Outreach Ministry, reference Revelations or TWMG, Time with Maame Grace.